A lot of excitement all over social media. So many of his fans excited that he has clinched that very coveted award. And so congratulations to Black Sherif and all of his fans. They're excited. We're excited. Everybody is excited. He has won the Artist of the Year, and such riveting performance at the Telecel Ghana Music Awards was beautiful. Congratulations to Black Sherif. You're welcome to ABC in the morning. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Ghana is facing moments that test our resilience, from events that shock our communities to issues that challenge leadership. On Friday, tragedy struck at Ayamfuri when Nana Kwabena Ochre, the Mantehene of the Ayamfuri traditional area, was accidentally shot during a funeral. Today we'll unpack this with security experts and hear from the Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission about how such accidents can be prevented. Meanwhile, the Greater Accra Chiefs have issued an apology on behalf of the Greater Accra Regional Minister following controversial statements online. A reminder that accountability starts at the top. And for those wondering why the city feels hotter than usual, we'll hear from medical experts on the implications of rising temperatures in Accra. But that's not all. We'll bring you some very comfortable conversations, because over the weekend, the 27th Telecel Music Awards lit up the stage with unforgettable performances, unexpected wins, and debates about the future of Ghanaian music. We'll break it all down with some entertainment pundits later on in the show here on ABC in the morning. So stay with us. This is not just news, it is the heartbeat of Ghana. We're streaming live on social media at ABC News GH. Now let me bring you the quote of the day. Today's quote is by Nelson Mandela, celebrated president of South Africa. It always seems impossible until it's done. Of course. I can't cross this road, it's too dangerous. Until it's done, it looks impossible. I can't attain these heights, it's too far above me. Until you do it, it seems impossible. It's too late for me to achieve my goals. I have only a few years of my prime left. Well, until you have done it, it looks impossible. And so go out there this very beautiful Monday morning and do the impossible. Do the things that you believe are impossible, because I believe that you will be able to do them and achieve them. So Nelson Mandela reminds us that it always seems impossible until it is done. And so in all of your doings today, do. In all of your doings, do. We'll take a break. When we return, we will bring you the newspaper headlines and then bring you all the conversations we have here for you on ABC in the morning. I am ABENA Mante, and I'm so glad that you have taken time to join me this very beautiful Monday morning to go through ABC in the morning before the day even gets deeper. Stay with me.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye, easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. ABC in the morning. Let's bring you what the newspapers are telling us. On the front page of the Daily Gist, NPP clears air over policy committee appointments controversy. Just before we went into the weekend, the NPP made some appointments to some committees, and the conversation has been so much on social media. A lot say that, well, some people have been sidelined in these appointments. But, well, the NPP says it's clearing the air. We hope that those who have been peeved, well, maybe we'll have some understanding. But that is from the NPP. Boldly on the front page of the Daily Gist, Atuforsen fumbles over 85 million Ghana cedi transit goods saga. Customs Commissioner takes center stage at WCO conference in Sierra Leone. All right. And also on the front page of the Daily Gist, bring finance minister for debate. Upon Kroma replies Sami Jemfi. Upon Kroma and Sami Jemfi have been going at it on social media. There are those who say that Upon Kroma should be ready to debate Sami Jemfi. And he says no. If there's anything on the Bank of Ghana losses to be debated, he would rather debate the finance minister rather than Sami Jemfi. We'll see. On the front page of the Crusading Guide, Yoko sued over refusal to release information under RTI law. Okay. Customs boss Aaron Anan Kano takes center stage at WCO conference in Sierra Leone. Oh, Mother's Day. Well, Mother's Day. Yesterday was Mother's Day. A lot of people made donations here and there. I see that one of such groups captured on the Crusading Guide. Well, on that note, happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Traders fear Publican AI system is on the front page of the Crusading Guide. Wache Jaku calls for unity, forgiveness. Okay, in a comeback bid, he wants to be chairman of the NPP. Let's take a look at other newspapers. The custodian reports upon Kroma chairs NPP's policy committee. CDD Imani Lord the initiative. Wenchi Bamboy Solar Wa Big Push project stalls. Upper West youth demand action. All right, NPP sets up strategic committees for Victory 2028. Heath Goldfields settles mine workers' arrears. All right, these are the stories on the front page of the Custodian. On the Supreme newspaper, if you are confident, appear under oath upon Kroma dares Sami Jemfi. MIF CEO tours Newmont Ahafo North mine and ICE stronger mining partnership. Okay, hope it brings more jobs for the young people of the nation. I have not declined Baumia's co-chair appointment. Kennedy Japan says so. Traders fear Publican AI system could collapse businesses. President John Dramani Mahama. The News Center reports Kolebu critical care in crisis. Acute ventilator shortage threatens critical patient survival. Oh Lord. These are the challenges within the health sector that we keep trumpeting, we keep talking about. These are the issues that must be solved immediately. Patients rely on these ventilators. Please, leadership, management of Kolebu, by extension Health Ministry, please come to their aid. 700 data centers needed for Africa's fintech push. Mensa Poku says so. Mahama cut sword for 1,000 units housing project in Kumasi. Bank of Ghana to introduce separate fintech legal framework. The governor, Dr. Panditesiama, says so. Fitch lifts Ghana to B with positive outlook. All right, okay. This is an indication for the economy. And also on the front page of the News Center, Baumia's competitors accept 2028 campaign rules. On the Daily Searchlight, all right, very bold, taking 3/4 of the page. the report on the divorce case between Joanna Quay and her former husband, Richard Niyama Quay, RNAQ. Drama in RNAQ divorce case. Joanna Quay petitions Chief Justice over alleged judicial misconduct. Okay, all right, okay. Violence erupts at Bumprugu NPP poll despite court injunction as ballot papers and voter registers destroyed. All right, these are some of the stories on the Daily Satellite, and the Daily Satellite is wishing all mothers in Ghana and around the world a belated happy Mother's Day. All right, Daily Satellite, thank you. I believe all our mothers are grateful. Africa today, tension brews in Ghana. Odumase, please kill the tension, please. Kill the tension before it kills the people. Thank you so much. Central Tongue MP refutes claims of underperformance in education. All right. Bogatanga MCE cut sword for 24-hour economy market at Tanzui. Also on the front page of the Africa Today news, 24-hour economy project kicks off in South Dai. Dafia Meto DCE urge contractor for timely completion. All right. And Just One Group signs MOU with VYNCKE. All right. You grab a copy and read more about this. On the front page of the Daily Times, TCDA inks 2 MOUs to drive beekeeping innovation and restore degraded lands. Okay, we wish you the very best, TCDA in this agenda. Alleged police and discipline rocks BBNE Dofsu. Residents bare teeth at MCE's inaction. Call for IGP government intervention. We ask for the police. You can be assured that very soon they'll release a statement on any matter such as this, and so we'll keep our eye out. Ioko insists PDS probe is fair, thorough, and bias free. Okay, so Ghana climbs to 8th largest economy in Africa with 14.7 billion GDP. IGP Special Operations Team naps 50 in Medina drug bust. These are the stories on the Daily Times, the front page of the Daily Times. The Insight, Tor turns to West Africa crude oil as revamp efforts deepen. Mahama cuts sword for 1,000 unit housing project for doctors, teachers, nurses, civil servants to benefit. All right. The best way to deal with the housing issues in the country is for state housing to be the primary source of housing. Russia's Vladimir Putin blasts NATO in Victory Day parade speech. VIP demands radical health overhaul, urges closer collaboration and expanded care. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Insight. Graphic sports, okay. African senior athletics competition, Ghana, Nigeria to renew rivalry in Accra. Today is 11th. It means from tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, we should see the African senior athletics competition take place. No excuses, no distractions. Kires cracks whip as Ghana begin World Cup countdown. Black Star lets eye redemption in tough group. You grab a copy of the Graphic Sports for more sports stories or sports news there. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, xenophobia threatens African trade and unity. The Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says so indeed. Xenophobia has no place in our society as Africans. Make Ghana your gateway to Africa. Governor tells global investor community. Indeed, Yeah, the gateway to Africa. The Mirror celebrates mothers at Labadi Beach Hotel. We love all the celebrations that were done yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful. From churches to homes to corporate bodies. Beautiful celebrations. Again, happy Mother's Day. NAT condemns assault on 3 teachers by soldiers. We already know that NAT has given government a 2-week ultimatum to deal with this matter, lest they take a decision that government will not be happy with this. These are the stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic. On the Ghanaian publisher, minority moves cocoa fight to central region upon Kroma Sami Jenfi showdown. Obiamwa chairs NPP's electoral committee, and the Ghanaian publisher is also reporting on the RNA kill divorce saga. Ex-wife Joanna Quay drags judge before CJ. These are the stories on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher. And these are all the stories we have for you from the various newspapers this morning on ABC in the morning. You should grab a copy of any of the newspapers and be abreast with what is happening. That's all for the newspaper headlines this morning on ABC in the morning. We have a lot more for you on the show. Please stay with us.
So you betum pon na gina advert. Let's why so be advert no you tumpon na kwara nim dia.
Do you need a media house to shoot quality TV ad for your company or product? Bring your company's vision to life.
And me can for media house we am potential films. So you must so you must don't worry. So what you tumpon e cost you through advert dia contact woman.
We help businesses build their brands.
Ukraine omoduma hote omo quality camera so many twa.
Reach their target audience and ultimately drive sales and revenue growth.
Omoduma be new. Omoduma is perfect. O contact no be good script about your product. Sound jet. They will give you quality pictures. How do you see it? How do you feel it? Wow. So people unya na no makasa. First number way 0541 16 28 28. I'm repeating 0541 16 28 28. Call them. Number one,
Potential Films. We believe in quality.
This week's been wild. New releases dropping, artists blowing up, moments going crazy on the timeline. Don't worry, we've got you.
We pull the highlights, the dates, the events, everything you need to know, and then the real fun starts.
The official top 10 songs running the streets, the airwaves, and your playlists.
If the culture is talking about it, we are counting it down.
This is the rundown.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the Talking Point. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
I'm James Markin, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC, as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
Some things never change. The meals we grew up loving, the taste that brings everyone together. Through every pot and every recipe, Gino remains the tomato mix you trust. Thick, red, rich. Gino truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
This week's been wild. New releases dropping, artists blowing up, moments going crazy on the timeline. Don't worry, we've got you.
We pull the highlights, the dates, the events, everything you need to know, and then the real fun starts.
The official top 10 songs running the streets, the airwaves, and your playlists.
If the culture is talking about it, we are counting it down.
This is the rundown.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching ABC in the morning live here on ABC News GH. Let's turn our attention to some conversations. Very unfortunate news coming from Ayamfri, the Ayamfri traditional area. Over the weekend on Saturday, the Amantea Hene of the traditional area, Nana Kwabna Otre, accidentally shot himself with a pump action gun. He shot into his abdomen, and upon rushing him to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. Doctors say that his intestines were protruding. Accidental shooting that has left someone dead. This time, self-inflicted gunshot wound, leaving a person dead. It raises concerns about using live rounds during traditional programs. You would recall that the Small Arms Commission, as part of their education, explained that it is just not right to use live rounds in any musket firing. Live rounds are not accepted. They have conducted so many education, so much education on this matter. We here have spoken with them over and over and over again. And so to see this, to hear about this, to read about this is quite unfortunate. And he turned the gun, the pump action gun, on his own abdomen. This is not where you are shooting and then you were shooting into the air and there was a ricochet somewhere, and so for that reason someone was struck by a stray bullet. Turning a gun onto your abdomen and then firing it, I cannot imagine the pressure with which the bullet exited the gun and into his abdomen. It's so close to you, and so that's going to be huge ejection of the bullet into the body, and he's died. The people of Ayamfri have lost their Mantia Hene. This was at the funeral of Anibusia Penny of the area, and so this should not have happened. Why are we even seeing Mantia Hene pointing a gun to his abdomen. Which kind of showmanship is that? Which kind of showmanship is this? You can even see that some of them did not even realize that he had struck himself. They thought just the force of the firing had pushed him down, because you can see how in the first few seconds it was until they realized how serious the matter was. This is sad. This is a very, very sad issue that has happened to the people of I Am Free. The police service says that it's conducting investigations into the matter, especially with the video that is circulating all over social media. For that reason, it's conducting investigations. But this is very unfortunate. You can see that his display was attracting the people. They were watching, they were taking videos of him, they were hailing him, throwing some money at him. I mean, they were excited, only for it to turn into tragedy. What are we doing? Did the Small Arms Commission's education not sink in with our traditional authorities? Because I recall that they said that apart from the general education, they had also educated our traditional authorities on these matters. You recall that a few months ago, issues like this had become rampant. Firing of muskets here and there, and then there's a stray bullet that has hit this person, a stray bullet hits that person, people sustaining various forms of injury. And so Small Arms Commission increased education. Well, let me take you to I Am Free. Take a look at what happened on Saturday. Nana Kwabna Ochre, Mante Hene of I Am Free, unfortunately losing his life by a self-inflicted gunshot at a funeral in the traditional area. Very sad development, really, really sad development. I mean, highly avoidable what has happened, and one would have expected that. As even an imagine, I mean, what is all the showmanship, turning a gun onto yourself? What was it to show that? Was it that Nana knew that there was live ammunition in it, still went on to fire it? Maybe he thought he could withstand the bullet and show how fortified he was. What really was running through his head with regard to this? Because it is very sad. This is a community losing its Emantiehene, a family losing their father, their husband, their uncle, their grandfather. This is a community thrown into mourning, a very, very avoidable incident to avoidable death. But Nana Kwabna Ochre, via a self-inflicted gunshot, has died. He has died, and this is the video that is making all of the rounds. The Ghana Police Service tells us that it will do well to carry out all of the investigations, review all footages that are circulating, so that they can bring us, some conclusion to this matter. But why? We should not have live ammunitions, live rounds within our traditional space. For what reason? What are we using them for? What are we using them for? Even after the Small Arms Commission has educated so much about the use of weapons, the carrying and the use of weapons. This is sad. This is very sad. I am watching it, and this is a very sad thing. For you're at a program with somebody, and then you see him shoot himself, and that is it. It's quite sad. I'm sad for the family that has lost their loved ones, the community that has lost its Mante Hene. Before the tragedy struck, you saw that it was all fun, or it was all celebration. In our traditional setting, funerals are to celebrate the dead, celebrate the life they lived, and so they were celebrating their Ebusia penny, throwing money on Mante, because he was dancing, he was excited, and so they're also excited. If the Mante is excited, they're excited, only for it to end in this very unfortunate way, and not by no means than a self-inflicted wound, a self-inflicted gunshot to the abdomen. And the doctors reporting that his intestines were protruding. Very gruesome way to exit. A very sad way to exit. Our heart to the bereaved family, to the bereaved community. But it means that we need to turn our attention the more to the carrying of small arms and weapons. Why are we firing live ammunition? So say he had not turned it onto his abdomen to fire, and he had fired it into the air. Anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. You recall some months ago when popular journalist, popular vlogger was at a celebration in the Bono area, and then a gun went off and into his face, and he's gone through a great deal, a great ordeal. Kofi Adoma, yes, that was him. He went through a lot because of that one incident, and we spoke about it, that our traditional celebrations, our traditional programs are very fond of having these gun displays as a component, a key component of their celebrations, and so we need to tone down on that. Small Arms Commission came into the conversation to give us more on this, why it's necessary that as traditional leaders, traditional rulers, you're not carrying guns with live ammunition because of the great harm it could cause. And so the muskets are the ones that have been sanctioned to be fired. Now see what has happened. This is very sad. This is extremely sad. This development, it is a sad development. Very much could have been avoided. I believe that Nana had been quite careless. Nana had been quite careless with this. Otherwise, we shouldn't have been talking about this today at all. We shouldn't have been talking about this at all. You see, the funeral was also quite packed. The canopies were close together. So say he had even turned the gun up and he had discharged the firearm. You don't even know what could have happened. But this is sad. I'm very sad for the community and sad for for his family, this tragedy that has struck. We look forward to having some conversations with security analysts on this matter. Are we not tightening gun control in the country enough? Or have we also made the traditional area quite comfortable when it comes to the handling of firearms and ammunition? Have we made it so comfortable for them to have these available for them? Well, we'll see. But this is the latest coming out of Ayamfree. Very, very sad development, sad issue, sad matter. It really breaks my heart to see this. It breaks my heart. I wish that he did not die. I wish that he had just been injured, and then he could advise. Oh, this is so sad. The Mante in Nana Kwabna Otre of Ayamfree traditional area lost his life as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He died, and the police are doing well to conduct all of their investigations to bring a closure on this matter. Could it be that the Mantiahine was not aware that live rounds of ammunition were in the gun? Could it be? Could it be he was aware but still wanted to fire it to show some spiritual fortification? What really? There are so many options you could look at with regards to this matter, but this is so sad. This is extremely sad to be reading, seeing this, that the man has died because of an inflicted gunshot wound. But when we are able to establish contact with a security analyst, we will bring you conversation on this matter. We will do go on a break. When we return, we'll be bringing you more conversations to take a look at. The Greater Accra chiefs have released a statement on the Greater Accra regional minister. Her comments about sending people to Northern Ghana as a form of punishment. Well, the Greater Accra regional, the Greater Accra chiefs have spoken for her, so to speak. They say that we should not take her words out of context and should appreciate what she meant. And they go on to talk about how they've had a good working relationship with her. They are happy about the job she is doing. We'll come and look at that really. Should we let this matter go? Also, the heat. There's a lot of heat in Ghana, in Accra especially. When it rains, you're excited, and then the rains come and go, and the heat come back in its fullness, and you're unable to handle it at all. Well, we'll look at the health implications to the heat that we are enduring after the break. Stay with us.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Some things never change. Trends come and go, but in your cooking, you still choose the tomato mix you trust. Because real quality never changes. Thick, red, rich. Gino truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the Talking Point. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
Welcome back, ABC in the morning. Thank you for staying with us. We're still streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, ABC News GH. And so if you're leaving home, you can still catch the show here on ABC in the morning. Let's turn our attention to the Greater Accra Regional Chiefs. They have been speaking on behalf of their Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Akwele Okulu. You'll recall that Linda Akwele Okulu, through her office, has apologized for some statements that she made during an interview at the Sakuma Ramsar site. You'll recall that there was a demolition exercise conducted at the Sakuma Ramsar site, and she was talking about the fact that some persons who should know better, some people working in the government or the public sector, were issuing permits here, and all those who were complicit had been transferred as a form of deterrent. Following that, she received a lot of backlash. She came through her statement to explain her side, to better clarify, and told us that it was just a slip. It was not something that was to denigrate the northern part of the country. Well, some Greater Accra chiefs have spoken in her in her defense, and this is a press statement from the office of the Gbobu Wulomo Shiche, and it's dated 8th May 2026. Press statement by the office of the Gbobu Wulomo Shiche. Northern posting remarks by the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Honorable Linda Akwele-Oklu, on 5th May 2026. This statement is issued to address public concerns arising from remarks made by the Honorable Greater Accra Regional Minister, Honorable Linda Akwele-Oklu, on Tuesday, 5th May 2026. It also serves as an expression of apology intended to calm public sentiment, restore confidence, and promote national unity and mutual respect among all people of Ghana. Following the minister's remarks, various media platforms including print, electronic and social media, as well as commentary from bloggers and other interested members of the public have been inundated with reactions condemning the statement. Many interpreted the comment to mean that postings or transfer to the northern regions of Ghana constitute punishment or are undesirable assignments for public servants. While statements of this nature can easily be interpreted negatively by sections of the public, we respectfully believe that such comments require careful reflection and contextual understanding. The office of the Gbobuwulomo Shiche, representing the Nungwa traditional area and the spiritual and customary institution led by the Gbobuwulomo Shiche, spiritual overlord within the Greater Accra region, wish to state clearly to all Ghanaians and the international community that public and political statements are sometimes made in an attempt to deter misconduct, indiscipline, and repeated violations of established laws and regulations. We do not believe the Honorable Regional Minister intended to demean, insult, or stigmatize our brothers and sisters in the northern regions of Ghana, nor portray those regions as underdeveloped, neglected, or undesirable places of residence or work. We acknowledge, however, that the choice of words used in public communication by persons in authority must always be measured, inclusive, and sensitive to national cohesion and unity. The Honorable Greater Accra Regional Minister has consistently demonstrated dedication, dynamism, and commitment in the discharge of her duties to the people of the Greater Accra region. She has never been known to discriminate against any ethnic group or region, but has continuously worked diligently to promote development, peace, and the image of the Greater Accra region with dignity and pride. The widespread condemnation arising from her remarks concerning the transfer of persons alleged to have engaged in misconduct with the Forestry Commission and activities affecting the internationally recognized Ramsar site should therefore be understood within the context of efforts to discourage wrongdoing and protect natural resources rather than an attack on any region or people. To us, the Honorable Regional Minister remains a courageous and hard-working public servant who continues to stand firm in protecting public institutions, fiscal development, and the welfare of the people of the Greater Accra region without fear or favor. Such leadership and commitment are necessary in promoting accountability, good governance, and sensitive image of Ghana. The office of the Gbobuwulomo Shiche hereby extends a sincere apology to the Tindanaba and the people of the northern region, as well as the Nsumankwa Hennes across the Akan-speaking areas. The apology is equally extended on behalf of the Honorable Greater Accra Regional Minister to the traditional leadership. And so this is the statement by the office of the Gbobuwulomo. He says that they stand united as a people of the Greater Accra region in reaffirming their commitment to peace, unity, tolerance, and national cohesion. We'll do well to speak on this matter real soon. Let's go back to the I Am Free tragedy, where the Mante Hene Nana Kwabna Ochre shot himself in the abdomen, and speak with Richard Kumado, a security expert. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Richard, this issue concerning the shooting, would you say that it defeats the education campaign that the Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission has embarked on over the past year?
Not really. Public education is a continuous process. Awareness creation and seminars and community engagement is a continuous process. I can understand that within the period they did the amnesty, they would need a lot of education, which we didn't have because of the time period. But having said that, we need to continue public education all the time.
All right.
In direct relation to what the man did, it could even be it's a suicide attempt, and he succeeded. So once he shot himself, it should not just be seen as an accident. It could be a suicidal attempt, and he succeeded. So that's the way we look at it.
Okay.
And there might be several things that led to why he will want to take his life or why he has taken his life. Besides saying it's a mistake, there could be several deliberate attempts to end it all on a particular day.
That is an angle that many have not placed emphasis on, and so let us stay on it a little bit. This will be one, and Mmerante Ehene, he's a traditional ruler within the community. When he was dancing, they were cheering him on. It looked like the norm that happens in our communities. And so for somebody of his caliber, let's assume that indeed it was an attempt at suicide that he was able to carry out. Wouldn't it also have certain security implications on the area that he was a Mmerante Ehene for? I am free.
Definitely, yes. Public safety challenges will arise. People will read meanings into it. Who gave him the gun? Has the gun been clogged? Is that a tradition? What type of a gun? Where was he? Who were the people he spoke to? If all these dots are not properly linked and there's some level of suspicion of a foul play or insider work, then that could degenerate into chaos. So it is proper, even though it's no longer among us, that the police will keep an eye and keep their ears on the ground and make sure that they investigate it to the conclusive aspect of it so that the family can close a chapter on it. Other than that, the issues surrounding it, conspiracies and suspicions and many of those ones would have lingered on for a very long time.
Richard, this is a pump action gun. A gun like this has tight regulations. For it, one, to be in the hands of this chief, two, to have live rounds of ammunition in it to the point of firing at his abdomen. Does it give any indication that we have some lapses within our local security when it comes to our local firearm security?
No, even if the gun is licensed and he is qualified or is a legitimate person to use it, how he uses it on a day until there is a problem, you cannot fault him. When you buy a gun and the gun is licensed, there are rules and regulations governing the usage of the gun. So if you don't use the gun properly, it could be taken away from you permanently. You can't pay a fine. You could go to prison, or all can happen at the same time. Unfortunately for him, this particular time ended his life. But assuming he's still alive, then the police can say, while you were dancing, the manner you use the gun doesn't be fit into the regulation. And so you have some questions to answer. So those are some of the issues. I can understand, I have always been of the view that when it comes to festivals and funerals, because our traditional setup, people have the pageants of using guns, the police must begin to give them accreditation.
Okay.
They look at their background, the type of gun, where to use a gun, how to use it, the type of guns to use, how many guns, the specific human beings to use a gun. In some of the festivals attended, that is what the police did, and we didn't have any trouble. So probably the police must start looking at it again. Then the armory of the chief will have to be opened up, and some exercise with law enforcement will be necessary so that public education, awareness, and safety guidelines can be provided to them as well.
The Small Arms Commission has, over the years, also spoken to our traditional leadership concerning the firing of musketry at its events, to the point where they have discouraged the use of guns with live ammunition. After all of this education, this happens. Is it that there's a certain appetite for using live rounds during festivals or occasions within our traditional architecture, rather than using the musket that would rely on carbide?
Yes, to some extent, yes. Even if you use gunpowder and you are very close range, the damage can be huge.
Right.
To all of them, the damage can be huge. Once you fire a gun, irrespective of the type and the kind, distance is important, and the capacity of the bullet or whatever is coming out of the gun is important. It may cause a damage. And that is why professional usage is key. That is why legitimacy is key. And that is why certification, accreditation, and licensing regime is key when it comes to issues of guns and all other weapons that can cause damage.
Well, now let's turn attention to the crime, to the scene of the shooting and what it also means for the police in their investigation. The report is that the police were informed after the victim had been carried away. You look at all the shuffling there. With regard to the police conducting their investigations, do you see any of these delays hampering the police's investigation to the optimum level?
We have a crime scene department of the Ghana Police Service. These are professionals, irrespective of where the crime occurred or how it happened and how damaged the crime scene has been. They have expertise to get to the scene and reconstruct the crime scene, and they'll be able to help frontline investigators to pick out the relevant key points to guide them in their investigation. So when it becomes difficult, they may rely on the expertise of the crime scene department people.
All right. Well, Richard, this is the unfortunate issue that has occurred now, one that we would not want to occur anytime soon. With regards to safety within our traditional space, what would be your advice to our traditional leaders when it comes to the wielding of these weapons during their programs?
They would need a police for safety guidelines. They would need a police for a discussion. They would need a police for some level of deliberation. They shouldn't wait until trouble strikes before they are looking for the police. Well, in normal times, let's engage with the police and have those frank, relevant conversations for the police to guide them. Other than that, they might be shooting themselves to death. And even if it's not the chiefs that are killing themselves, innocent people die unnecessarily from festivals and from funerals where there are guns involved.
Well, Richard, we thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll look forward to the report, official reports by the Ghana Police Service on this matter. I'm particularly very sad because this was avoidable. The aspect Richard brings in, that could it be a calculated attempt by the chief himself to kill himself? This would have to this would come to bear after the police has conducted their investigation. It's just unfortunate that, when somebody has died, you cannot get any more information from them. And so we'll have to rely on the intelligence of the police to really find out what caused this. Was it an accident, as many are thinking that it is? Was it a calculated effort? Well, we will see. But this is very unfortunate. The trauma of those who were also present at the funeral celebration. Already a sad program, but it had been marred by what happened that day. Very, very, very sad. Nana Kwabna Otre, Mrantiehene of Ayamfuri, at a funeral over the weekend, and has died due to a gunshot wound, self-inflicted. This is very, very sad. And so we'll continue to follow this case. Any development by the Ghana Police Service, will do well to furnish you with it here on ABC in the morning. I told you before we went on that break that we'll take a look at the heat in the country. Accra is hot. And I say the country, but we narrow it down to Greater Accra region and take a look at the capital and the heat. Have you gone into a crowded space quite recently? You would really realize how hot Accra is. First, we don't have enough trees. Building houses, only pavement, no trees. No greens, nothing whatsoever. And it's a big issue. It's a big issue. Environmentalists have been in reminding us that we need trees. And we do need trees. When the last tree dies, the last man dies. At this moment, we are cutting down our trees. We are feeling the heat. What becomes of us? We'll bring you conversation on this matter. But the capital is hot. Stay with us.
Never change. The meals we grew up loving, the taste that brings everyone together through every pot and every recipe. Gino remains the tomato mix you trust. Thick, red, rich. Gino truly cares. This advert is FDA approved. Welcome back. Accra is hot. We need to find out why and what we can do. Joining me for a conversation, Emmanuel Ameya, who is the project leader at the Africa Center for Nature-Based Climate Action. Good morning, Emmanuel. Thank you for joining.
Good morning. I'm a pleasure to be with you.
Right. Why is Accra hot, Emmanuel?
Well, essentially, it's a combination of various factors, but all leads to what we call climate change.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's, what we are experiencing currently is heat wave, and it's a prolonged period of unusually high temperature, and often combined with high humidity. All right, and this impacts various sectors: the agri sector, human health, water resources, and infrastructure. But in a broader context, in recent years, we've seen an upward hike in terms of the temperature in major cities like Accra, Kumasi, and the northern parts of the country. And if you speak to the Ghana Meteorological Agency, they also allude to the fact that we are experiencing some form of heat wave. And most importantly, the factors that contribute to that primarily is climate change, what we call global warming, which is the prolonged heating of the Earth's surface caused by greenhouse gases, nitrates, methane, carbon dioxide, and these are all as a result of human activities. And so that is one of the key issues here. And then what we call the urban heat island effect, where cities like Accra, there's a retention of heat because of the concrete jungle that we continuously see. In recent years, we've seen that a lot of green spaces in the city are being cleared to erect high-rise buildings, stores, and all that. And so there's
limited greenery around our major cities, and that's also a contributing factor. Also, the deforestation that we are witnessing in recent years, as well as poor urban planning. When you see a lot of buildings that are being erected, you get a feeling that our climate is much warmer, and so you would see glass houses and glass windows. We need to rethink how we are looking at our urban planning situation in terms of buildings which are poorly ventilated and essentially traps heat. And also, we've seen some significant change in terms of our rainfall patterns. So generally, these are the contributing factors making Accra very warm, and to a large extent the northern part of the country as well.
Well, let's stay on some of the factors that are self-inflicted, the human-inflicted ones, like building without trees in the neighborhood. You could go to a whole neighborhood and you would not see even a tree. Every house is paved, no grass, nothing. And also would also turn our attention to building without enough ventilation. There are those who say that the kind of windows they have is to ward off the thieves in the area, and so they would rather pick that over the air that would flow easily flow into their buildings. I mean, what other options are there for people who have those thoughts, because their safety is very much needed?
Yes, indeed, issues of theft and all that are very valid. But again, in terms of design, there is a way you can be able to design. In recent years, what conversation we talk about, climate smart homes, even the kind of material that are used in building or constructing houses and our other infrastructure, we can source materials that are eco-friendly, materials that have a cooling effect, not even just about the window, but the cooling effect. Also having reflective roofs. When you have roofs that are very reflective, once the sun rays hit the building, it reflects away, sort of trapping the heat. And so that is very important. And in terms of the ventilation, again, they are growing up. You could find infrastructure or houses that are having this kind of design bricks where there are some hollow space in there. All these things, we need to really think and relook at them. But again, it is in the broader conversation between the real estate developers, the local assemblies, and other key stakeholders within our built environment space. We need to sit down and develop a plan in terms of how we want to look at our housing or accommodation issues in the coming years, because this issue has a tendency to become worse, and it has very huge implications for health, agri, other sectors. And so we need to really work together and make sure that we develop solutions that are very local and rooted, grounded in our special situation. So indeed, as you mentioned, people with concerns about theft and all that, but it's also in our interest that we also look at how we can develop solutions that try to mitigate some of these impacts.
For our part of the world, it's said that we do not contribute so much to the effects on the world, especially to global warming, that based on the kind of industries we have here, we are not really the cause of this issue. However, we are also the ones that are suffering for it the more. How do we deal with global warming in our own small way to ensure that this very excessive heat wave does not continue to engulf us?
Yes, indeed. If you look at the contribution of Africa to a large extent, is very insignificant in terms of the emissions to the global climate issues. And so, as a continent, we are very vulnerable. We are very high risk, vulnerable continent. If you travel across the continent, beyond even the heat wave, the coastal erosion, there's drought, the desertification, the other climate phenomena that people are experiencing across Sudan, Congo, and all these countries. For us, in terms of solutions, one of the easiest ways we can address some of these issues is nature. We have nature in abundance, and from the Africa Center for Nature-Based Climate Action perspective, where I work, we are looking at harnessing the power of nature, planting trees, creating green spaces, green corridor, harnessing our marine resources, wetlands. I mean, in recent times, I've seen that there's some demolition exercise going on around the Ramsar site. All these are very important nature solutions that address climate impact for our wetlands and mangroves, which act as buffer zone for flooding and also regulate temperature in terms of the heat and all. And so nature is at the heart of some of these things that we do. Every community needs to have a green space or eco park where people can sit and relax. And that is very, very, very crucial. Every household, we need to enforce that every household, at least you plant a tree in your house. If you drive around Achimota Forest or around the Ghana Atomic Energy Road heading to Kwabena, the air feels very different. The temperature feels very different. That is how impactful planting trees is. We also need to improve on our urban planning in terms of the design, using the reflective roofing materials I talked about, promoting climate smart housing. This is also very key. Again, early warning systems. Early warning systems is one of the key solutions that we can also use in terms of the government and the meteorological agencies, having public alerts, awareness campaigns to also warn citizens and alert them about the dangerous heat conditions. And so a lot of public education needs to be pushed out there. And then for our farmers who are also directly impacted by this heat wave, we need to look at irrigation systems. How can we develop climate smart irrigation system, agroforestry, and other developing drought-resistant crops? Some of the crops can withstand heat. All these are solutions that we can develop and make sure that we mitigate around these things. And also there's a lot of policy action that we will need in terms of cross-sectional policy action from the government, from civil society, from our international development partners. And I believe that all these are very crucial in our bid to address the ongoing heat wave that we are experiencing.
We have up until 2030 to achieve our sustainable development goals. And as part of these sustainable development goals, climate change, climate action finds its place in there. We talk about the trees, we talk about our mangroves, our Ramsar sites and all. Some of these issues we are faced with are self-inflicted. Some of them are human actions that are causing what we are seeing. Where does or how does the Environmental Protection Agency come into the conversation to ensure that we are standing very tall in matters like these, and so that we feel better as a people with regards to the air around us and all that makes life better?
I mean, absolutely, you hit the points quite well. The EPA, not just the Environmental Protection Authority, but to a broader extent, the Ministry of Environment and the other key state agencies that have direct mandates on environmental issues. We need to see some level of coordination and synergy in their work, but most importantly, we need to raise a generation of Ghanaians who are very much conscious about the environment, especially coming from the youth and our young people. We need, once there is that sense of belonging for the environment or stewardship, we are halfway through the work, because a lot of people do not understand the impact of all these around us. I mentioned the mangrove, the wetlands, and all these. People literally just see wetlands as some marshy area they can just fill up with sand and build on there. And that is an education issue. And no matter the education that we do, if we don't bring it to the local level, the grassroots communities, make them understand that all these natural resources around you, all this nature. Look at Etiwa. Recently, the report that are mining in Etiwa. Etiwa provides it's the water source for Desu and all that trickles down all the way to Weja, providing water to about 6 million Ghanaians. So once Etiwa is hit, we are going to face water crisis. Some Ghana Water Company plants have been shut down. They are struggling to purify our water before distributing to our various households. So there's a connection. We need to put the human face to our environmental issues instead of discussing it just as trees, just as wetlands, just as rivers. We need to connect it. How does it impact our life? How does it impact our health? How does it impact our food systems? Okay, and all these, once we're able to do that linkages, people begin to care about the environment, because then they know that this is directly impacting my life, and I have a role to play to safeguard that. So again, we want to see more work from the EPA and other state agencies, but also from we, the civil society perspective, and other partners. We also want to come on board and support the educational institution, academia, our traditional rulers. Everybody would need to play a key role in making sure that we safeguard our environment and then we protect it for future generations.
Protecting our environment for future generation. How much how much do you believe that we are able to do this in the shortest possible time? If we were to give ourselves a time frame per the SDG goals, we have up until 2030 to achieve them. Climate action goal 13. But as a country, what is the time frame you believe we can start to see changes within our climate?
Well, I believe we've made some significant gains as a country. We've developed our NDC target, that's the National Determined Contribution target. We have the Renewable Energy Master Plan. We have the Ghana National Climate Adaptation Strategy. So for the policy level, I think Ghana is one of the African countries that is leading in terms of the climate action and all that. One of the key issues when it comes to climate issues and addressing our sustainable goals is funding. So in recent years, we've seen some cuts in terms of funding to support some of these. And so what we are doing in the short term is a climate solution that do not require heavy or capital intensive climate solutions. But in the broader scheme, what we can be able to achieve for our climate goals is hinged on funding, is hinged on technical expertise, is hinged on the political will. You might have a president who would think that I don't really believe in climate change, or it's not something that is a priority. And so very, very important question about what timeline, but that will be difficult to predict. But I strongly believe, being in this space, working with our stakeholders, I believe that we've seen a lot of commitment in successive government. In the last few years, we've seen a lot of commitment to addressing that. We had the former Minister for Lands pushing the Green Ghana agenda. We've had this particular current minister also doing the Tree for Life project and other things. What we've struggled with is a bit of issues with illegal mining and all that. But in the broader scheme of things, for our climate ambition, climate goals, Ghana, we are really pushing and punching above our weight.
Well, Emmanuel, thank you so much for speaking with us. We'll look forward to seeing how much more we do better, especially as depends on us as individuals in the country. Thank you, and kudos with the work that you continue to do. Emmanuel Ameya was the project leader at the Africa Center for Nature-Based Climate Action. The heat in Ghana, I mean, that's some of the issues that are beyond us as individuals, but what we can do as people, we cut down trees when we do not need to cut down trees, leaving our areas very hot. You would go through one area and not see a single tree. All trees raised down, only buildings, so much concrete here and there, pavement here and there, and no tree. How do we expect to get some air around us? How do we expect to have some natural cooling? And so because of that, we have to rely on air conditionings and then ceiling fans. We can do better. These are some of the things that are dependent on us and us alone. Well, so that's the conversation on why Accra is heating up. We'll do some more conversation. We'll do some health conversation at this point and pay attention to things that matter to our health and safety as people, to our health and safety as a people. But let me take a quick break. When I return, we'll bring you that conversation.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available, strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the Talking Points. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
This week's been wild. New releases dropping, artists blowing up, moments going crazy on the timeline. Don't worry, we've got you.
We pull the highlights, the dates, the events, everything you need to know, and then the real fun starts.
The official top 10 songs running the streets, the airwaves, and your playlists.
If the culture is talking about it, we are counting it down.
This is the rundown.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue our conversation on the heat in Accra. Now let's turn our attention to a health practitioner. Dr. Henry Sian Jangma is a family physician at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, popularly known as RIDGE. Good morning, Dr. Jangma. Thank you for your time.
Good morning to you. Thank you for the opportunity, and good morning to your cherished listeners.
Doc, the temperatures are high, especially during the daytime. Humidity is also high, causing a lot of discomfort for people, and especially babies. How are we dealing with this matter of high temperatures in the capital?
Well, heat waves are a matter of climate concern, which come about when there's a system of high atmospheric pressure moving into an area and lasting usually for 2 or more days. In such a high pressure system, the air from upper levels of atmosphere is pulled toward the ground, where it becomes compressed and increases the temperature. This is due usually to the known depletion of the ozone layer. Meteorologists will say more than 5 consecutive days of prolonged heat in which there is daily maximum temperature more than 5 degrees Celsius. It causes the body to expend more energy, and then it tires it out. It can lead to difficulty sleeping, accelerated heart rate, and excess or excessive sweating. Rightly, like you mentioned, elderly children, the elderly and children are more susceptible, and they tend to develop dehydration, headaches, and other concentration problems.
But as we stand, this has become our reality. We deal with it morning, afternoon, evening. At first, you won't be looking forward to the evening because you'd feel that the temperatures will cool down, but not so anymore. And so, how do we manage it in the interim until we find a lasting solution to dealing with this heat wave?
All right, thank you. There's that effect on humans. Where during the physical exertion there's an extreme heat, so the body can has difficulty removing the heat generated, and this leads to increase in core body temperature, rising to high levels, furthermore leading to heat stress, sometimes even preventable death from myocardial infarctions, what we call heart attacks. To manage it in the interim, we would suggest to the public to pay close attention to their hydration levels. We advocate for 1.5 to 2 liters of fluid of water intake daily, so as to prevent the dehydration that comes about from heat waves, which tend to lead to heat strokes and sometimes heat stress. We also advise for people to wear loose-fitting clothing, and then as much as possible avoid high temperatures by being in rooms that have adequate air conditioning and the like.
Okay, so what are some of the symptoms you should be looking out for heat strokes, like you were talking about? Say I had been walking in the sun for long. What symptoms should I look out to realize that I need to slow down?
Yeah, so heat stresses come about when the body feels warmer than usual. So heat that is supposed to be dissipated or have left the body stays, and then it causes an increase in body temperature. You'll find symptoms, or it leads to symptoms like excessive sweating, nausea and vomiting, muscle cramps, headaches, fatigue, and the like. And when it gets to a more severe version, which is known as heat exhaustion, there's all the above, all the symptoms mentioned, plus fainting. And there's a more severe form known as the heat stroke, which could involve comatose state and preventable fatalities.
Well, Doc, I mean, this is a period where we are very uncomfortable. Mothers, fathers with very little babies have to endure having extra source of cool for their children, especially when the lights go off and kids just cannot stand it. For those with babies, how do they deal with this very delicate matter?
Yeah, so since children and the elderly populace are implicated as a high-risk group, we advocate for preventive measures to prevent the sequelae that could arise from heat waves. We say for children, for instance, we advocate that they be worn loose-fitting clothes and as much as possible be prevented from being in high temperature environments. We also advocate that mothers look out for the signs of dehydration in children, where there's sometimes changes in urine color, there's a decrease in skin tegor, there's excessive sweating. These are all signs mothers can look out for to put measures in place to prevent dehydration leading to the consequence of heat waves. At
what point does a person have to visit the hospital when the adverse effect of this heat wave we experience hits them?
Well, once symptoms set in, especially when there's episodes of fainting spells or unexplained muscle cramps, excessive nausea and vomiting, we recommend that such an individual visit the nearest health facility for adequate care, in terms of possible fluid replacement and rehydration.
Well, Doc, we thank you so much for the education this morning. We hope that the heat wave slows down a bit for us so we can feel some cool in the air. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Henry Siao Jangma is a family physician at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Some symptoms to look out for: change in urine color, when you're feeling some dizzy spells, nausea, vomiting. These are symptoms for you to slow down, do well to cool down. Very, very important. We are so intent on going about our days and to ensure that all of the things we have put on our list, we achieve them. However, we should not be doing that at the detriment of our health, and so please take it easy. Sometimes you go into the central business district, you realize how packed the area is, and everybody, there's a lot of jostling here and there. You can see people are feeling very faint, but they just need to keep going. Please, if you do not think that you are the optimum strength or health level to enter into areas like that, postpone your visit for another day so that you do not become a victim of the heat wave that we are experiencing at the moment. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll turn our attention to the Telecel Ghana Music Awards that saw Black Sherif emerge as the Artist of the Year. Please stay with us.
So you remember to pon advert. Let's why so by advert no you to pon na kwala nim dia.
Do you need a media house to shoot quality TV ad for your company or products? Bring your company's vision to life.
And you make media house we am potential films. So you sir, so you must don't worry. So you to pon a course through advert dia contact woman.
We help businesses build their brands.
Ukraine omoduma hote omo quality can somebody try.
Reach their target audience and ultimately drive sales and revenue growth.
You be new. Omojuma is perfect. O contact no good script about your product, sound, jet. They will give you quality pictures. How do you see it? How do you feel it? Wow. So picture unya na no makasa. First number way 0541 16 28 28 and repeat 0541 16 28 28. Call them. Number one
Potential Films. We believe in quality.
Some things never change. Trends come and go, but in your cooking, you still choose the tomato mix you trust. Because real quality never changes. Thick, red, rich. Chino truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocolate. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back, ABC in the morning. Saturday, the Telecel Ghana Music Awards took place, the 27th edition. Some very beautiful performances at the